Okay, so this is our last story of this episode, and it's a happy one. Thank goodness. It's a positive story throughout all of the chaos and madness. So, voice actor Chris Ayres, who, if you don't know, he has actually voiced over a few different, if you're a fan of anime, a decent chunk of characters that you probably know about. So he's been Frieza in Dragon Ball Super and Dragon Ball Super Broly. Also, I'm pretty sure in Kai as well. And he's actually voiced characters in Gantz, which I have Gantz, but I don't think I watched it in English, but I have it all on DVD, sadly. So he was in Gantz. He's also in Gintama, the movie. That's pretty cool. Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt. That's interesting. I do have that series as well. Not ashamed of having it, but I've watched the Japanese version, not really the English version. Also been in Sengoku Basara, Initial D, and Tears to Tiara. Sorry if it's not, but it looks like Tears to Tiara. Either way, he had a lung transplant recently after being on the transplant list for almost 2 years. He had it on October 31st. And this article is posted on November 25th. We are recording this on December 4th. And yeah, he's doing great. He's in the hospital, and he has some more rehab to do in recovery before he can leave, sadly. But he claims that the doctors have been thrilled with his success, with his progress, rather. I don't know. I'm just so happy. I'm over the moon, guys, because, not only just being a fan of his work, but I hear he is such an amazing guy. He's really cool. People, sometimes fans will stop him and talk to him, and it looks like he's busy and he doesn't have the time, but he stops just for them when they talk about their lives and maybe some terrible things, and he just gives them very comforting words of wisdom. So I heard about him being on the transplant list a while back, probably when it first happened 2 years ago, and I didn't fear for the worst, but someone who has lost family members before, not specifically due to something like this, but who has lost family members, I was very nervous, to say the least. So very happy that he's doing okay. And he did have a GoFundMe account for his medical bills, because we live in the USA and medical bills are expensive. And so he's going to reactivate that account, and he stated that the last 2 years of medication, doctors, and surgeries to prepare for the transplant have used up most of the money I raised those years ago. Because not only is it very expensive to try to go to a hospital for any reason in the US, it also becomes a problem as well when, as a voice actor, he does not get paid very well. Now, I'm not talking about him specifically. They're not like, Chris, sorry, we're not paying you very well. No, just overall, voice actors that are out of union, usually outside of LA and New York, do not get paid really well. Funnily enough, I think it may have been Troy Baker. If you guys know the story and you're watching this on YouTube, comment down below or go to our Twitter at Those Guys Radio. For once, I'm telling you, you can add us about this. There was a story, I could swear it was Troy Baker or Crispin Freeman, who said, yeah, I get paid so much. I've gotten paid more, just one gig through a commercial. They got paid more doing a voiceover for that compared to, I think, their entire anime career or something like that. So, yeah, usually voice acting doesn't pay that well. So again, having to get this kind of surgery and get a transplant like this, and even just being in the hospital for that long, and having to live with that, because it's not like he was able to just kind of walk around and do jumping jacks while waiting to get that lung transplant. Now, the article goes on to say that in November 2017, nonprofit corporation Anime Twin Cities launched a fundraising campaign for Ayres' medical expenses. Ayres has been diagnosed with end-stage COPD, which is chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, and the fundraiser sought to raise $25,000 primarily to assist in medical procedures and care. And the fundraising stated at the time that Ayres required a double lung transplant to survive, along with 2 additional surgeries. Now, kind of makes me tear up a little bit, but I want to see how much it raised. I'm curious. I don't want to cry on camera, but might have to. Let's see. Oh, it was deactivated, so he has to reactivate it. Right. So sadly, we don't know how much he raised from the looks of it. Either way, though, I'm happy that he raised enough that he actually still had more on top of that after everything he's gone through. Because again, for some of you guys that are watching this outside of the US, you might not realize, needing to get this stuff done in the U.S. It will cost you. It will cost you a lot more than you'd like. So again, very happy that he seems to be doing well. And yeah, hoping that he has a speedy recovery. And I wanted to end the show on something positive. Sometimes you have to end the shows on something negative, but you know what? No, this is a positive thing that happened. Good for him. Good for his family. I believe he's married, so good for his wife. Good for his brother. Because I know he has a brother who's also a voice actor as well. So I'm not sure if I've seen some stuff that he's been in. But either way, it is awesome to hear. So I want to say that I love you all so much. Before I say take care, before you click off this video or turn off the podcast, I want to say that we have a multitude of different social media accounts that you can follow to get updates on what we do. Check that out either down below in the description box, or you can, of course, just go over to our Twitter at Those Guys Radio and follow us there. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification to get updates on all the different things that we do on this channel. Specifically, it is Those Guys on the Radio. And remember, we have Those Guys Play, which is for all of our gaming content, and Teacher Production, which is a fun little hodgepodge of stuff, sometimes anime related, sometimes tokusatsu related, and occasionally just sprinkled with a zest of professional wrestling. Little tiny zest of pro wrestling. All right, guys. So anyway, love y'all. Take care, and see you next time. Hopefully with Tristan. He'll be back on the show. So see ya.